Hello, I'm Chloe. Hi from BeHealing.com. Welcome to Psychic Cafe. It's Friday. Woo! 30th of December. Oh my God. End of the year tomorrow. About that. Okay. I'm going to be doing some channeling this morning about relationships. Perhaps about twin flames, perhaps about the aftermath from false twin flames, or even the idea of twin flames, which seems to be quite dysfunctional to me. But the guides are trying to guide us to some healthy relationships. So that's the advice we're going to be giving today. Well, that's what I presume that they're going to be giving us anyway. So I'm also be giving mini reads for donations as well. So if you're on here live with me, get one of those. You can find out how to by clicking on that pinned comment. The comment that's pinned up top of the live chat tells you how to do it. Hi Maria, hi Delia. And it's by donation. There's a PayPal link in that pinned comment for your donations. Can also use Super Chat, Super Sticker here on YouTube if that's easier for you. And after you've done your donation, put a capital Q at the start of your comment with your question in for your reading. Now, your question can be very specific if you want it to be, or it can be quite loosey-goosey, general guidance or whatever. How's everyone today? Are you good? I'm moisturized. Cuticles are moisturized and I'm ready to go. Let's do some channeling. So get your donations in at any point as we progress through because I'll batch them all up. So we're talking about relationships. Anyone had any developments in your relationships? Since I talked to you last, no, we've just carried on chatting. Know a little bit more about him now. He knows a little bit more about me. Still haven't done the video chat yet, but the timing with him being where he is, it's difficult. It's difficult with the time difference right now, but it's not that long until he'll be back. 17 days, so count down. Let's get some cards out. I was just told not that one, this one. Okay. Okay, guys, what do you want to tell us about relationships? What's going on right now? What do we need to know? King of Swords. King of Swords. This one is the female version of the King of Swords, meaning that this is our energy. Kings are all about mastery of something, and the Swords is all about the mind. The mastery of the mind. Now, we're talking about kind of recovery from the twin flame obsession, maybe. Are we obsessed with somebody? We're certainly thinking about them too much. They were coming up in readings too much definitely for a dysfunctional relationship, right? So the mastery of the mind is when you see clearly after all of that. It's a strange thing, isn't it? When we get focused on someone, the levels of delusion are quite high, aren't they? Excuse me. And when we snap out of it, we can really shock ourselves when we see clearly after it. Yeah, King of Swords is all about seeing clearly. I've been in hermit mode all week. Going out tomorrow and Saturday. Yeah, there's quite a few parties on tonight. I can't do 2 nights in a row. I could go out for a quiet one. I went out last night. It was fight night last night. 7 Muay Thai fights, 3 Jiu-Jitsu. It was quite a big one. I got home at like 11:30. It was later than I expected. There's not usually that many fights, but it was very busy. It was good. But I'm tired because I only had 5.5 hours sleep. And with the parties tonight and then New Year's Eve, I don't think I can do tonight. I think I need to sleep. I had bad PTSD. Oh no. On the 28th, better today. Oh. Yeah, that sounds exciting, Marie. What's he like? So the King of Swords, we're seeing clearly now. Seeing clearly now. Do you guys find that? Oh, that when you're focused on someone, you delude yourself quite a bit. There's things that you don't notice. It's so easy not to see the red flags because we get into this positive mindset thing or something. I don't know what it is. We don't see things clearly. Next up, we've got the Four of Wands, which is all about solid starts. It's about marriage. It's about firm foundations. For once, seeing clearly what makes a firm foundation. Huh. Well, there's certainly a emotional intelligence is required to have a good relationship with someone for sure. They need to know themselves. They need to have got over some of the pedantic. I don't know how to describe it. When people don't know themselves very well and they're still like really single-minded about stuff and still projecting on other people and still thinking that it's not okay for people to be who they are and stuff like that. Just that really pedantic kind of thinking. If anyone's in that kind of an energy, you can't have a relationship with them. Not a good one anyway. And you snap out of it and you're like, what was I on? I know, like, why? Apparently that's what we're talking about today. Why do we do that? And I don't think I'm doing it this time, but I never think I'm doing it when I am doing it. Very caring. Keeping things open at the moment. See how things go. Yeah. I think that's the best way to do it. That's kind of where I'm at as well. But it's looking very hopeful, this one. Very hopeful. But still, I'm like, of that, well, we'll see. We'll see. We've got the Eight of Cups card, which is about the moving on thing. It's the Eight of Cups is when we release the emotional attachment to be able to walk away from something. And I think this is what it's saying. It's we release that emotional attachment and then suddenly our mind sees clearly. It's like without these certain chemicals, when we're emotionally attached to someone deluding us, those chemicals go. You know what? I think it's a human condition to keep us with people, to keep us connected with people. Because if we had clarity all the time, we'd never get into a relationship. Because we do have that. We do have chemicals within us, attachment chemicals, the hormones that have us seeing past stuff so that we can stay in relationship with people. Oh, thanks, Dahlia. Yeah, it's very exciting. A part of me is like, wish she was here already, but a part of me is really enjoying us getting to know each other. It's like we've got to the stage now where we can just like talk about boring stuff with each other, like catching up on the day kind of thing. And it's getting more intimate and more easy, the conversation, less of the getting to know, less of the questions kind of thing and more of the day-to-day stuff, which is really nice. I'm feeling a closeness with him now. So it's going to be very interesting in another almost 3 weeks' time when he comes to see what that foundation, where that has taken us. Still getting synchronicities from the previous. Oh, you are? I'm not in the slightest. It's like it's disappeared. Oof. Of course, at Fight Night, I saw people from the other gym. Everyone was there. Who won? My new gym won. Most of the fights were my new gym against my old gym. First fight, the old gym won. But then, Monsoon won the rest. Pretty much. I think. Five of Wands, we've got to be strategic. Okay. This is saying, look, guys, this is what you do. This is what you do. You get emotionally attached and you lose your mind. You lose your clarity of mind. It happens. It's a function of being a human because we are social creatures, and we need to be dumbed down in order to stay in community with people. If we had all of our senses, like once we've walked away from something, there's senses, that clarity that you get. If we had those on all the time, we'd all be hermits. We would, right? So what we've got to try and do is be strategic about it, says the Five of Wands, to keep our senses about us as much as we possibly can without what's the word? Without messing up that's not the word I was looking for, but messing up the connection that's coming in. In other words, we want to fall in love, yes, and we are going to get a bit stupid when we fall in love, yes, but we need to have some kind of a strategy to not be too dumb about it. To not be too dumb about it. Holy crap. Okay. Have a strategy. What's our strategy then? Tell us. I'm getting better at keeping my wits about me, and that's another thing as well about us getting to know each other for like more than a month. Well, we met on the 15th, and he's coming back on the 16th. So yeah, a month of just getting to know each other on opposite sides of the world kind of thing through text before he gets back. So that is good for me to keep the clarity, because when we get in person and those pheromones happen and all of that chemistry and all that kind of stuff, that makes us even more stupid, doesn't it? Ten of Swords. What we want to do is avoid the pain. Yeah? You blame Disney. Is that it? Disney's problem. Ten of Swords. We want to avoid the pain. That the pain points that we've had previously. It's like this whole thing again. We don't want to do it again, right? It's like, yeah, okay, I want to fall in love and I'll be a bit stupid when I do it, but I don't want the same experience that I've had before. I don't want another one of them, another one of those abusers or another one of those narcissists or whatever your thing is, your type is. Eight of Wands, communication. Direct communication is the Eight of Wands. Yes, always a good thing to speak up about things. We've got to be doing this, speaking up about stuff instead of keeping it to ourselves. Yeah. When I look back at my marriage, I'm like thinking, wow, I was useless. I was useless at relationships, really. We didn't talk about stuff. I wouldn't face anything. He wouldn't face anything. Things just went, got pushed down, and we just didn't talk about anything, didn't confront anything. We didn't argue, but then, we broke up because nothing was ever being dealt with. That's no good, hey? I'm getting much better at stuff like that now. Even when I'm just talking to someone, like I am now, just bringing things up straight away. If I feel a certain way, bringing it up. And it's only happened once in this new one. I've only had to do it once, and he was great about it. He soothed me and said, "Yes, sorry." It wasn't his fault. It's because he wasn't in touch with me for a couple of days, and I was having like a one-way conversation. I'm like, "Oh, this is no good," and so I brought it up, how it was making me feel, and all of that kind of stuff. And he was really good about it. I mean, it wasn't his fault. He was in hospital, not feeling good at all. So he had a good excuse, but it didn't come back defensive like that. He had a good excuse about it, and he told me about that, but it wasn't defensive about it at all. He was about soothing about it, and agreed with me. This is really difficult, the time difference and all of that, and yeah, he was good about it, right? And so that communication, that direct communication, is so important. Thinking about my 20s self when I was married, there's just no way that relationship had a chance at all. It was always going to self-destruct, because you can't, spend years in a relationship with someone with no communication going on like that without it breaking up. So direct communication is very important. Three of Swords. When you're feeling heartbroken, when you feel when you're feeling negative at all in a relationship, communication is so important. So we need to speak up. And some of us have been conditioned not to do that. To just be positive thinking, just ignore it, push it down. It's law of attraction stuff, isn't it? Don't do that. It's so destructive. Self-destructive from the inside. Okay, so it's a lesson today. Next up, we have Starchild Tarot. Switching up today. And this can be a little bit fluffy, positive. Rainbows, unicorns. This deck. It's got a bit of, in that book, it's got a bit of, I do love it, this book and this deck. but it can be a little bit fluff, positive, too positive, not straight talking. But we'll see. Perhaps that's why I've been told to use this deck now, to pick apart what it says. It's like some of those cards too, they've got bullshit on them, spiritual bullshit. Just be nice, just give more, you know, that kind of stuff that we know isn't true. What's this? Is it just us three today? Ooh, we've got falling in love. It's what we want, isn't it? But it makes us stupid. Ace of Cups. It's a nice feeling. But they call it falling for a reason. Ace of Cups. The Ace of Cups is a celebratory card indeed. It indicates a time of new beginnings and relationships that leave you feeling energized and giddy. This could mean new romance or deeply rooted connections with others. It's a powerful force that regards the emergence of universal love and the cosmic ties you share with soul families and friends. Your psychic awarenesses may also be heightened at this time. Yeah, so is our delusion though, hey? So is our delusion. And that's the tricky point when we start calling it our intuition. Allow you to see beyond the veil of the 3D world. Sometimes we need to see the 3D world, especially when we get into relationships. We need to see the 3D world, not see beyond it. Isn't that what we were doing with the false twins? Seeing beyond it, going to the spiritual for the confirmation rather than the 3D world, how they're actually being, what they're saying, what they're doing, what they're not doing, you know, the dysfunction that they are. We need to be in the 3D with it as much as we can. So even though falling in love will make you feel like your awareness is heightened at the time, you'll be wanting to go to more to the ethereal, the spiritual, thinking it's all your intuition and they're perfect for you. Don't do it. 3D, 3D, 3D. Keep on bringing yourself back to the 3D world. What they're actually saying, what they're actually doing, what they're, you know, all of that stuff. This ace also identifies a strength and reinforcement of your own identity, self-esteem, and personal convictions. It's an overall wisdom that leads to spiritual growth and illumination. You know what I'm getting from that is don't lose yourself. Don't lose yourself in this next one. A wonderful period to explore new avenues of self-expression and creativity, which will raise your vibe to a whole new level. Woo! Unicorns and rainbows. Yay! Fluff and stuff. That to me was what Doreen Virtue was all about. Fluff and stuff. We've got the Ace of Wands again. Ace of Wands. I said again because I've just done a daily energy update for the 9th of January. We had the Ace of Wands out there too. Ace of Wands. Love this new growth. It's very passionate. Ace of Wands. Wow, 2 aces. Ooh. We're going to like what's coming next too. Ace of Wands. A wonderful new beginning full of inspiration and growth. Yay! It's time to embrace any upcoming opportunities that come your way. Perhaps you're on the verge of trying something new or expanding your ideas. If there's anything you've been planning on pursuing, now is the time to take action. You have the skills and talents you need in order to manifest your creativity in all of its power. Even though this may be the initial stage of your adventure, know that you're headed into a life-changing period that's deeply rooted to your inner truth. As a result, you'll find the creative outlets you need, a time for action and self-expression. So what I'm getting from this is go into it like fully being yourself, you know. A new adventure, fully being yourself. Don't lose yourself in this. The Emperor is next. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Divine Masculine. The one, we can tell who they are because their life is sorted. Not that they have any problems, not that they don't have any problems, I mean, but they're on top of it. The Emperor, they've built an empire, they're stable, they've got it sorted, like they're from the very stable kind of position. They know themselves, built something for themselves. They don't just let anything into their life. Quite particular, very strong in themselves, knowing themselves. Let's see what the book says. I'm going to have a full pot of coffee today. It's all decaf though. I know there's a few beans of calf in there, but not many at all. I'm running out of calf, which is a good thing. Calf beans. Calf. The Emperor. Thank you, Dahlia. The Emperor. The Emperor indicates a time for reinforcing a sense of clarity and direction in your life. The execution of a specific plan or idea will need your inner strength and organization in order to manifest properly. Be a strategic thinker. This card may also signify an authoritative figure as much as a state of mind. Sometimes the existence of power lies in the ability to distinguish thoughts and actions that are damaging or aggressive with those that are nurturing and positive. When you consider the essence of love behind your choices, stability and strength will manifest with ease. It's a tricky one, isn't it? The essence of love behind our choices, because that, to people like us, can make us just putting up with all kinds of shit because we empathize with the other person. We can see why they're so messed up, and then we let messed up people continue to be in our lives and even have romantic relationships with them. Not the greatest, is it? The essence of love behind our choices can make us over-givers. Because religions have told us just give, 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 give. And a lot of us just been too good at that, so much so we've become out of balance the wrong way. We don't get good things for ourselves. I'm getting a message here of the balance of our hearts and our minds, and just knowing that when we fall in love, we're going to get stupid. So we have to place more emphasis on the mind and on that clarity. King of Swords. First card that came out. It's about our clarity, having clarity of mind. Some of us don't want to do that because our mind says negative. And then we're like, no, I want to stay positive, so I'm just going to be in my feelings. And it's like we commit to the delusion. Yes, commit to the delusion. But I don't like what my mind's telling me. My mind's telling me that there's red flags there. It's like, yeah, it's telling you that for a reason. Don't ignore it. But my heart feels so good. The connection feels so good. Yeah, keep your mind switched on. This card also denotes intelligence, power, and mental organization, and an ability to think on a larger scale when it comes to raising your vibe to a higher state of awareness. This defines what you truly prioritize and how you choose to use your energy in life. What you give out always returns. Interesting, huh? Let's do your Dahlia. Guidance for the first quarter of 2023. I've been making the energy updates for 2023, and I've not got the date wrong yet. You know, sometimes some years are really hard to let go of, and we just keep on saying the old year. 2023 has been very easy for me. It's very easy for me to move into, apparently. I haven't got it wrong once. I'm not even there yet. But I'm very happy. It seems that perhaps once we're there, I'll start getting it wrong. Okay, Dahlia, 2023, first quarter. Going within and finding out who you are, so getting really clear on yourself, who you are, what you want. Bringing back parts of yourself, perhaps that you forgotten about, or you thought wasn't that important. I don't know how to say it. Things that you thought weren't that important. There you go. So very much a hermit kind of time for you. Some more of that energy. I wonder what's going on in your chart. I've never had a proper astrology reading. Perhaps I should get one. 2023. Thank you, Lara. Oh, we've got some travel going on. Interesting. That will bring you in the moment, bring you into the now. Very much a finding yourself kind of thing. Have you got some travel planned, Dahlia, for the start of the year? Feels very much like going to another culture. It feels like going to Bali or something like that, and somewhere where it's not exactly a retreat, but it's somewhere that's got a spiritual element to it. Helps you find yourself. Travel that will bring you into the moment now. I mean, travel does, doesn't it? Because we are faced with new things. Unless you stay there. Okay, I do. Move that, stay there. I've got newness coming in there, things coming back, boating especially. He wants to buy a boat. I'm so excited about that. So cool to be talking to someone who takes the lead in stuff, and it's not just me. Usually it's just me. It's like, let's do this, let's do that, I'll get this, I'll get that. He's got ideas and he wants to do stuff and he's do it, and I can go along with him instead. It's like, wow, receiving time for me. But I had kind of shelved the boating ocean part of myself, even though I'm here on this island, which is like the mecca for all stuff dive, scuba diving. I kind of shelved that part of myself and it's coming back. I love it. So similar for you, Dahlia. Parts of yourself coming back. Laura, thanks for your donations, guys. Laura, ooh, high self-guidance for tomorrow. What have you got going on tomorrow, Laura? Some coffee before this. Okay, tomorrow. Healing intimacy. Intimacy, I'm not talking about relationships here, well, kind of relationships with other people. Feels more like a work situation to me. Feels more like a getting on with people, a revealing yourself, your true self to people, being your full self. We change, don't we? You're going to Sedona. 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 That's it. Yeah. Laura. Yes. Fully being yourself around other people. The more we heal ourselves, the more we can allow ourselves to be just who we are. We're okay with that. We don't feel like wearing different masks, but we still do. We are social creatures. We're vibrational creatures too. And so there's an element of us that matches other people, mirrors them back, kind of thing. We'll always be like that. We're almost like chameleons, some more than others. But the more we heal ourselves, the less we do like that, the more we will stand in our own energy and just be ourselves in any situation and just be cool about that. So yeah, whatever it is that you've got going on, you might surprise yourself at being more of yourself than you have been previously. Perhaps, especially if you're going to be around people or the kind of people that usually you would change yourself for. It's family, is it? Yeah, especially if you're around people that you would change yourself for. And with family, it could be like you revert back to your old self, you suddenly turn into a teenager again. Yeah, this is saying that you've healed yourself enough to kind of be yourself, go as yourself, go to the party as yourself. Even though people might say you've changed. That's a good thing, right? Be open to that, because other people might be closed. You've changed, and all of that kind of stuff that you get back from that. Try and remain open and not defensive when that comes at you. Take it one step at a time. It might be quite tricky. Family's quite tricky. I asked my mister, like, do you subject yourself to this family torture every year then for Christmas? And he said, no, it's just this year because his father passed. I didn't know that, you see. I didn't know that. I didn't know that's why he'd gone back. I thought it was just a regular Christmas, New Year trip, but no. Well, there you go. So yeah, try and remain open. Maria, what's your question? New Year guidance on new love and old love. Okay. Let's do the new love, old love thing. New love for Maria. New Year. Is it true in abundance? Oh no. The lying. Your higher self is calling them out. They're lying. They're lying about the money, the new one, which isn't. It might just be a blag. They're not exactly in the financial situation, job or whatever that they say that they are. Just be careful of that with this new one. As I said, it doesn't have to be a massive character flaw. That it could just be someone that's got like abundance issues and is embarrassed about it, and so they don't want to tell you. So they tell you a few white lies about that situation. Old love. Still feeling going on with the old love, but you've got a clear understanding now, and your idea says you've got a clearer understanding of what that was all about now, to be able to move forward from it. Still feeling there though, so there's still emotional connection to the past for sure. But I was listening to a podcast yesterday, and they said it's very difficult to let go of something until we've got something to replace it, and it is. You find it's much easier once you've got something to replace it. So keep on moving forward, and don't make that feeling about the old mean more than it is. There you go. Things have happened over the years. You have changed. Others have not. Or maybe they have, and they're just not being themselves around you too. It's hard sometimes to be around them, yeah. It's tricky. Good luck with that. It is. It's tricky not to revert, right? But your higher self is saying that you've got a better chance this time. You've done the healing so that you're more comfortable in your own skin. So the Ace of Cups, the Ace of Wands, the Emperor. Balance our hearts and our minds, which means when we're falling in love, keep on thinking 3D, 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 3D. Seven of Cups. Seven of Cups is the confusion of choice. We think we're choosing it right, but we all know that we get deluded. Seven of Cups in this booklet. The Seven of Cups is a card of choices and contemplations. It represents our dreams and desires through the active power of our imagination. Although this process may seem as an overindulgence of fantasy or illusion, remember to consider how it also stems from a place of honesty and desire within your heart. Yes. If you feel scattered with options, focus on the opportunities that align best with your long-term goals. Things may also not necessarily be as they seem. So it's important to be cautious and intentional with how you wish to move forward. Take some time to mull over your options and envision what you really want. How are you going to share your talents and skills with the world? Overcome your fears and make a loving commitment to yourself. You skip Thanksgiving and Christmas for that reason? Yeah. People are tricky, aren't they? So, Seven of Cups. Again, it's talking about the delusion. I've got to stay switched on this time. I don't think I'm deluding myself this time. I do think that I am addressing everything that comes up. But we'll see. It will be easier once it's here in person. I would say. Three of Swords and the Sun. What very contradictory cards. Three of Swords being the heartbreak card, the Sun being happiness. Three of Swords being like the damaged inner child, the Sun being the healed inner child. Happy. Chicken cat's that. I'll let her in before I do anything else. With a jingle bell collar. Hello. She just wants biscuits. She doesn't want any cuddles. She's like, none of that stuff. Don't want love, just want biscuits. So the Three of Swords, what has this got to tell us? The heartbreak. Breaking our own hearts. Not into that. Breaking my own heart. The Three of Swords, a more ominous card than the most. And the reason I'm saying that is something that I said with the last one. I'm not going to be with a married person because I'm not into breaking my own heart. What's the point in getting involved? You're setting yourself up for failure. You're setting yourself up for a broken heart. You're breaking your own heart by some of the choices we make. We break our own hearts with. I think that's what this is saying. A more ominous card than most. The Three of Swords often reflects moments of loss, pain, betrayal, or heartache. Although the presence of these obstacles may feel overwhelming, very often a greater lesson will transform out of the darkness. True. Aren't we over the lessons, though? Isn't it our time to receive now? I think it is. From these experiences comes the clarity and potential to create new opportunities. How we face adversity can have a lifelong effect on our happiness and consciousness if we choose to habitually focus on the negative. And also, if we choose to habitually focus on the positive too. It's just as damaging. Some of us have been around habitually negative people, and it's caused us to be the opposite, which is just as damaging. We need to be equally positive and negative, real. You know what I mean? I don't know about you guys. I've got an extremely negative mother. Holy shit. And it made me extremely positive to counterbalance that. That's not good either. I like to think I'm a bit more real now. Trying to be. Your innate strength and wisdom will emerge as you realize your full potential to grow and learn from past mistakes or challenges. You alone have the power to rise above the shadows and reach a higher state of being. Thank you, Annalise. And then the sun. Happiness, happiness, happiness. Yes, it's about time. Here it is. When the sun shows up in a reading, it's time to acknowledge your wonderful blessings. And it's an expansive, love-filled radiance that indicates a joyous time in your life. Oh, I'm so looking forward to it. I hadn't even contemplated being with a retired person. Because, around our age, and he's 54 now, as of 2 days ago, yesterday. Yesterday in his time, 2 days ago in my time. It's very rare that people our age are retired, right? But he had an accident, so that's why he's retired, and he can be retired. He's got a retirement income that allows him to do whatever he wants, which is great, huh? I hadn't considered that. I was still thinking, I want to build and grow something, but I was thinking, work, And it's just receiving, just doing nice things. It's an expansive, love-filled radiance that indicates a joyous time in your life. Along with a renewed sense of abundance, you have reached a higher state of consciousness. This elevates your inner growth and connects you with the divine light of Source. The sun also reflects the positive approaches you take and how you choose to interact with the people around you. I told you, rainbows and unicorns and butterflies. There's too much emphasis on positivity in here. Lead to imbalance. I know the sun is a positive card and happiness and all of that kind of thing, isn't it? It is. But if it's saying that it comes about through being as positive as we can be, that's not true. That's only true for those that have been overly negative to get themselves into balance. The sun also reflects the positive approaches you take and how you choose to interact with people around you. You are succeeding in new and vibrant ways and able to pour all of your enthusiasm and vitality into your dreams. When you resonate this way, it's only natural that more light will shine down on you and the ones you love. Bask in this healing, transformational energy. It's guided you this far. Nice. Am I ready to receive the payoff for all that I've worked for? Oh, yeah. Yes, I am. I'm ready for happiness now. Happy relationships, warmth, pleasure, sincerity, good health, joy, accomplishment, success, abundance, celebrating your inner child. Beautiful when you allow the universe to bring someone to you. Yeah, give you what you didn't even know you needed. That's it. Instead of us being controlling about it, like this is what I want next, this, and this, and this, and this. Mm. Squirrel. Annie, love life guidance for early 2023 for you. Anyone else want a mini read? Annie, let's see. There's chicken. Little boy out there is doing, he's got one of the brushes, he's brushing up the path and is waving it around like it's a lightsaber. The kids are with their parents to work, the staff here. The kids are around at the moment, and that's what happens in this country. Kids go to work with the parents. And like I did when I was a kid, in the 70s and 80s, I'd go to work with my mum sometimes and I'd help her out. They help the parents out, they do a bit of the work, which I seem to thoroughly enjoy as well. My mum worked at Asda for a short time when I was a kid, and I would like open boxes and stack shelves and stuff with her. Annie. Oh, well, things are going to seem to flow very nicely for you at the start of the year there in your love life. Grace and touch. Just a little bit. Just a little bit of flow kind of thing. This isn't like full on like go time. Ah, it's not like full on go time. Person of your dreams coming in and everything working out. That's what the grace card is, right? This touch card is saying just a bit of that. So things will start flowing, but it's not like everything. It's not everything for you yet. Tell us more. I am heard and sabotage. Okay, right. This is something about because you haven't been heard in the past in relationships, so you can say things until you're blue in the face and you still don't get what it is that you want. So frustrating, right? Because you've had experiences like that, you've now got a sabotage where you're overly controlling in that area. So you do too much in a way to make sure that you're heard, almost a defensive kind of position. So this is something that needs to be addressed first. You might have examples of this as you have your touches of grace coming in. So people come into your life, it seems serendipitous, and you get to practice this balance of knowing that you deserve to be heard and choosing the right people that can hear you and all of that, and the stuff that you do when you choose people that can't hear you and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, you've got some sabotages to face here, and it's all about speaking up within relationship. But more than that, it's more about choosing the people that listen, open-minded. Like I said before, we can't have a good relationship if we are pedantic and set in our mind, just those silly ideas that people have. We can't have good relationships with anyone if we're like that, nor can we choose to be with people like that. When we're not like that, but we choose to be with people like that and think that we can have a good relationship with them. But all we do is butt heads with them because they're a butthead. Because they're a butthead. Oh dear. So yeah, you've got lessons like that for the first part of the year. Hopefully, with that armed with that information, you'll be able to get through it quite quickly. But it's all in the people that you choose. How can we recognize the buttheads, those ones that are closed-minded, buttheads? Avoiding the buttheads, but probably attracting them in, so that you can see what you're doing. And it's mostly in the sabotage, so it's more the choosing that kind of a person than trying to. So I don't know if your family are kind of like that, buttheads. And you keep on choosing that kind of person, thinking you'll get it right this time, thinking that you can get them to listen to you this time, that you can get them to be reasonable. You can't. You can't. Doesn't matter how reasonable you are with the butthead, they are not going to be reasonable back. It's not on you to do that. So you don't need to overcompensate. So notice that kind of stuff. But all in all, you've got stuff going on, but it's not the whole shebang. It's more kind of lessons. You did the happy thing yourself too, Lara. Yeah. My mum didn't do the opposite. Her mum was very negative, hypochondriac. My mum did the same thing. I went the opposite way. So spot on. Okay, Annie, there you go. Butt heads for Annie. I can't stand butt heads. I'm hearing a little bit about a butthead that's in Mr. Man's family as well. He's told me a bit about it, and I know it's so frustrating to him at the moment. Oh, we've got the Wheel of Fortune next. The Wheel of Fortune. And the Nine of Crystals. Oh, a single independent card. Wheel of Fortune. Beautiful card. About fate and luck and all of that kind of thing. It's about energy. It's about what you attract. The Wheel of Fortune. Just as the seasons changed in an everlasting cycle of energy, so does the path of your life. For every situation, there tends to be an archetypal opposite that keeps the balance intact. Understanding the Wheel of Fortune signifies a state of acceptance that things may be good or bad at any given time. Balance. Not positive, not negative. Do not be discouraged by the difficulties or low points. These too will pass. In modeling unconditional love and gratitude, fluff, rainbows. It's easy to identify the positive moments as they come, which manifest abundance into your life. Well, it's more being neutral that manifests abundance into your life, in fact, I've found. Abundance doesn't come when you're like wishing for it and you're trying to be positive and all of that kind of thing, nor does it come when you're being really negative. It's when you're neutral about it. You're neutral about it. That's when abundance comes into your life. Know that sometimes you may need to leap into the unknown in order to move forward. You alone have the power to create the life you desire and to overcome any challenges along the way. Look for the lessons instead of giving in to the struggle. This is what the wheel is all about after all. How can I learn from the choices I've made? How can I set my intentions in order to attract more love and abundance into my life? Not so much about your intentions, it's about what you're willing to do. And as I said, neutrality is the best. It's the best. So what's that saying to us? It's the best for abundance, it's the best for love too. Neutrality, be as neutral as you can. Try not to go all in. Be in that, well, we'll see kind of energy, we'll see. As much as we can. And then the Nine of Crystals. Nine of Crystals is a great card of wins. But personal wins. A wonderful card. You see, I told you, it's a wonderful card. The Nine of Crystals represents the culmination of all of your efforts and hard work. When it comes to relationships and ourselves and our healing and all of that. You've learned an abundance of knowledge along the way, which has led to your heightened state of spiritual awareness. And 3D awareness too. Through the exploration and manifestation of your dreams, you have found your place in the universe and are radiating joy. You can now look to the next stage of your life with a fresh perspective. Perhaps you'll want to spend more time in nature. Yes. Or with the people you love. Yes, I do. Perhaps you will take a more spiritual route in your learning. Perhaps you won't. Perhaps you'll take a more 3D route in your learning. You're aware of the larger scope of your being and are ready to move on to the next phase of enlightenment. Time to enjoy life's simple pleasures. Very nice. Very nice. So enjoy it. What's coming, enjoy it. We've done the work in ourselves to get ourselves here. Make sure that you're finding someone that has done similar Not but the butt heads, but someone who's done similar, and then you can have a nice time together. And mine, he apologizes for being negative. He apologizes. He said, I know. No, he doesn't apologize. He says, I know this seems a bit harsh and negative, but, and then he says a complete truth, and I'm like, I exactly agree with you. And it's not being negative, it's being real. Love it. He seems to have learned many things that I have too, but we'll see. We'll see. What I mean by that is, can he actually apply it? And can I actually apply it in an intimate relationship too? We'll see. It's looking good though. Coffee. Got another cup left. I want to do some Book of Shadows tarot. As above deck. The work is never done. Construction finally complete. Thanks for your patience. I don't think the work is ever done. I think there's greater heights that we can reach. I think we're in a constant state of evolution. I think this is why the universe is expanding. It's because we're expanding constantly. There's always evolution. Tiki. So yeah. She must have gone back in. She's thinking about, oh, what have I done? You're hesitating. Tiki, you sure you wanted to go out? She's not. You sure? She's in two minds. No, she's going out. She's made a final decision. She's locked it in. She went out and then looked back at the door. Like, not sure I want to be out here. Yeah, constant evolution. The universe is constantly expanding. Our consciousness has got something to do with that. Our consciousness constantly expanding the evolution of ourselves. Has anyone noticed that too? It's animals as well. It's not just human beings. There's evolution going on. Animals evolving too. And I'm not just like talking survival of the fittest. I'm talking about a consciousness evolution. It's interesting, but I don't think it's ever going to be done, because I think there's new heights that we can reach. And I think that's why we're getting this guidance, is because I've been told it's like people aren't having these kind of relationships. This is a new thing. Spellcasting. Rainbows. It's very realistic, isn't it? She's there kind of in the darkness, creating rainbows. Spellcasting is a strength card. There it is. Magic is focusing the will and working with the divine energies present to create positive change in the world. There it is again, that positive word. Learning to recognize and work with energy is relatively easy. The challenges are controlling our will and on creating positive change. Meaning, it's not about positivity, it's about better for ourselves. We want better for ourselves. We want to evolve in the right way, right? We don't want to devolve. We don't want to evolve so that we get like more crap into our lives, which we can do. We want to evolve to get better and better and better in our lives. As it seems part of our lesson on earth is to muster up and properly channel our will, which sometimes seems too weak or too strong. Creative positive change is also difficult. We don't always want what's good for us or for others. Also, it's not always a simple thing to know what is for the greatest good. Managing our will takes practice, discipline, and patience. Yes, practice, discipline, and patience. Dealing with the question of the greatest good is eased by maintaining a close connection with the divine. Once you know how it feels to be in good relationship with the divine, it's easy to recognize when you're not. That sensitivity can be a great compass. Mastering yourself. Something's good for you, it's going to be good for everyone else as well. In the long term, we don't need to pander to people, keep ourselves in situations. It's not good for us. The martyrdom thing, it's not good for anybody. Then we've got the Six of Water. This is Saraswati. What does she want? Six of Water. Wisdom and culture is what she wants. Creative expression of feelings and thoughts in a way that helps you understand yourself better, or that allows you to develop a deeper connection with another person. Channeling your feelings creatively. This is talking about communication. The expression of your feelings especially. Now, some of you might be headed into a relationship where we're taking communication to the next level, especially when we're talking about feelings. Creatively expressing how we feel and what we think about what we've learned, what we see, what we experience is about relationships of all sorts, emotions, affairs, questions, longings of the heart, artistic expression of all of that stuff within a relationship. How interesting. And then the Nine of Earth. Being happy enough where you are. Nine of Crystals, Nine of Earth, same. Points to a time of satisfaction and satiation. There's enough of everything and it's all very enjoyable. Like a perfect summer evening. I wonder what's to come from this, because you're right, Dahlia, there's always growth. The work is never done. We get into these positive relationships, well, what comes from that? There's something that's going to come from it for sure. What I've found myself is when you stop fighting the fires, so once you've done the healing, you can start getting more creative. That's what it said, right? Creative expression. It's like with business. Once you've got yourself to a point where you've got like a steady enough income from it, then you can start getting real creative with your business. That's when you can start seeing the bigger picture. And like I said, abundance comes when you're neutral. When you're neutral to it, not when you're positive about it or trying to manifest it or negative about it or whatever. It comes when you're neutral. You get neutral about abundance when you quit worrying about it. You make it not that important, or you get yourself to a point of the money coming in is enough, is plenty enough, and you can just don't have to focus on it anymore. And because you don't have to focus on it anymore, you've got the space to focus on other things too, on your creativity and what it is that you want to create in the world, right? And in your business and all of that. And so it gets much, much better from that point. And the same, what this is saying is it's like the same with relationships, but we haven't experienced that yet. We've only been experienced in relationships the trauma, the trouble, the challenges, and all of that kind of thing. We've never got ourselves to the point of emotional neutrality within relationships, and a good enough relationship so that we can get creative within it. How about that? It's not even done when you die. That's right. So the Nine of Earth points to a time of satisfaction and satiation. There's enough of everything and it's all very enjoyable. And so you hit this point of neutrality. Like a perfect summer evening or a sunny spring afternoon, all is just right. The wisest thing to do is nothing. And you know what? I've been telling mine about having to slow down because of my blood pressure. And I was telling people last night as well, because they're like, where are you, Claire? We don't see you training anymore. It's like, I can't. I can only do it like 2 times a week or 3 times a week tops, because the high intensity, and I am a high intensity girl when I exercise. I'm super, super fit. And so they push me even harder because of it. I can't do that anymore. I can't do it anymore. I can't do high. A couple of times a week tops is what I should be doing with that. I need to slow down. And so I was telling Mr. Man about it too. And he's very much, driven kind of person too, doing a lot of things. And now he's embracing it as well. It's like, so a slower pace of life. I wasn't saying that he needed to do that, but he's kind of taking it on too. Oh, and maybe we can do that together because I'm getting a bit bored, to be honest, right now. I'm reading a lot of books. But I'm getting a bit bored because I want to do stuff. I went on a 2-hour walk yesterday morning. Like, I can still exercise. I just can't do the high intensity stuff too often. I can still do my weights and stuff like that. So I do love the high intensity stuff. It makes me feel great. My body doesn't like it. It's stressful. And then when I thought about it, of course it's stressful. What's my body thinking? I'm in combat twice a day. 10 rounds of combat twice a day. It thinks that of course it's going to have high blood pressure, right? Because it thinks that I'm in mortal danger every single day. I've got something in my eye. It's New Year's Eve tomorrow, everybody. I just got the reminder. Yeah, watch out with the high intensity. It's just a sometimes thing, apparently. Doctors never told me that. I've deduced it for myself, and I did hear in a podcast yesterday, the day before, saying something similar, kind of talking around that, but not really about that, about the different, what do they call it? States of exercise or something. Zones of exercise, like zone 2. Zone 5 is what I've been doing, and I shouldn't be doing it so much. Anyway, neutrality. From the neutrality of a good relationship, you get to be more creative within it. Very nice. Bring it. Yes, it is. It's just like abundance. And it's great once you get to that point of neutrality about abundance. And you get just to be creative. It's just so much better than fighting fires. And like I was saying with my healing, I found that too, is that life gets a lot better once you've healed yourself, because once you're not having to deal with trauma, there is more to do, yes, but it's more in the, well, I like this experience now. And so then you have like positive or work towards something positive instead of work because your life's a shit show and you've got terrible things going on around you. So it's going to be the same within relationships. Relationships have been a shit show, and in fact, we've been having to do the work based on the challenges that have been coming up. This is saying, not anymore. Well, some of you might still be in a bit of that, but we're headed toward this neutrality. And I've got something in my eye. Crown of Water. She saves emotions for later, this one. Never quite understand this woman. Save some emotions for later? I don't know. Book of Shadows is the Hierophant card, which is the life lessons. Hierophant's all about spiritual lessons, life lessons, all the things. Very unique to each one of us. So I wonder what that is then. Once we get into a relationship that's good, and we're at that neutral place, then we can create from that point, create things together. 7 of Earth. Sea creatures. Sharks. That'll be me. In the water, going diving. I'm excited to do my scuba diving refresher course and get on the blowing bubbles again down there, which I can't do when I've got high blood pressure. The doctor would not sign me off fit to do scuba diving, but I'll be fine. Yes, the childhood stuff led to me combat training. Yes, absolutely. And it's good for me. It's empowered me and all of that. It's an outlet. It's a better outlet than drinking, binge drinking, for sure. But it's doing it too much. Using it too much. And I don't need to do that. I'm relaxed. I say I'm a bit bored, but I've been enjoying it, this relaxation that I've found through not constantly running around doing different stuff. But yeah, it's absolutely to do with that. Seven of Earth. Sea creatures. The Seven of Earth indicates that now is time to move carefully, to pay attention to your environment, to be extra sensitive to energetic flow. Move and experience things differently than normal. Recognize that this is a new situation and adjust your perceptions accordingly. So we're not going to be, once we found these new people, we're not going to be treating them like our exes, expecting the same old crap. Flow as gracefully as possible without jarring or upsetting the balance. It's going to be new. It's going to be new for both of you. Neither of you have been in a relationship like this before. He thinks he's a merman. New situation. Oh, I like this reading. I hope you guys do too. Healthy relationships, not twin flames. Twin flame concept is just messed up. It's trying to explain dysfunction. It's trying to make dysfunction okay. It's trying to say, no, keep on going with your heart instead of your head. Don't look at what's going on in the 3D, just look in the 5D. It's not helpful. Or to put it another way, it's an anxious attachment type persisting with an avoidant attachment type. There's nothing good about it, but you learn a lot through it for sure. And we needed to go through that apparently to have these good ones, snap ourselves out of it. Nine of Air. Now we've got the birds, the air creatures. Oh, there's a moose. What's that? Oh, they're picking over things. Whatever died in that noose, the birds are picking over it. The Nine of Air. Not the best card in the world. Runes. Nine of Air is a bittersweet card, for it promises great wisdom, but the way to that wisdom includes suffering and sacrifice. Don't we know it? Wisdom is not a right we're guaranteed. It's a reward, something earned, and it doesn't always promise happiness. Fuck that. It better do. So, we all chose these lives, but now everyone's going through these crappy relationships. Everyone is, so, but we chose to remain aware to it and decide to move through it and heal ourselves and all of that kind of stuff. Saying that there's going to be more, but it's going to be different. Depends how far along you are on your relationship stuff. Lakshmi! Abundance. Yes. Abundance. Woo! Woo! The Nine of Water. Prosperity. Lakshmi. The Nine of Water promises increased prosperity, both material and spiritual, as well as others to share it with. Yay! Blessings and gifts and revelations abound as if from nowhere, simple in response to your own generous actions and simple requests. I'm excited. I'm excited to be with someone that likes the same stuff as me, to live in the same conditions as me, same places as me, do the same things as me. And it means like it's going to be, and it's got money. So we can halve everything. So much better. And the boat that it's talking about getting, I was having a look and I'm like, oh, we could get something bigger, because if we're going it together, we could get something bigger, something that's got like a cabin as well, so that we can go away for like 2-3 days at a time exploring. It's exciting knowing that I don't have to do it all. On my previous relationships, I just have to do it all the time. If I wasn't buying it, it wasn't being bought. Apart from when I was on the yacht, he had a lot of money, but he was stingy with it too. in certain situations. It like being flashy when there's other people around, kind of thing, getting everything for me. But it was a heart of stinge. Heart of stinge. Abundance comes with it, you see. There's something in that neutrality that I was talking about that's very important in this reading. There's something in the having a balanced mind and heart as well. 3D, 5D is a way to look at it. We have to know that when we fall in love, we get stupid, and keep our heads switched on, keep that clarity of mind as much as we possibly can, even though it's against our human nature. Our human bodies are geared toward stupidity when it comes to relationships, because we are communal creatures and we need to be stupid in order to stay around other people because they're idiots. My man's more of a hermit than me. I'm more social than he is. But we've come to a lot of the same deductions about the majority of people on this planet. It's going to be very interesting. I'll keep you all up to date with what's going on with it. But that's what I've got for you. That's what we've got today. So, whatever shall I call this? Something about keeping our heads switched on. I don't know. Anyway, it's good advice. It is. So thanks everyone for being here with me, for your support of my channel. You're very much appreciated for that. It seems to be tanking, but then it always does. It always does around Christmas. Everyone's busy. Hopefully it'll get back to normal again next week. Thanks for your donations, everybody. Let's do this all over again on Monday next year. Have a great Happy New Year. Have a great bringing the new year and celebrating all of that kind of stuff. And I will too. Oh, Monday, wait. Monday is, it's the second, but for some of you it's still on the first. No, that should be okay. It should be okay to do the show. It'll be the first for a lot of you in the evening. But it's more the 31st, isn't it? Of celebrations. Some of you might be a bit hungover, but that's okay. So yeah, I'll do it on Monday. I will. Unless I don't, and then I won't. Happy New Year, everyone. I'll see you next year. Have a good one. Bye. Oh, and check out my channel later for the pick a card read, which will be a Love Tarot reading this time. Full Celtic cross spread. See ya. Bye. Happy New Year.